We just showed some footage of you in the Little League World Series from back in the day. Your dad, was he the manager of that team?
First base coach. We had a manager who was the third base coach.
Okay. And then your dad was a manager of a team later on that he took the Little World Series? Or no, he just was part
Just
of it?
that year. Yeah.
Just that year.
And then my brother played, and they lost in the regionals. They never quite made it.
Right.
But he was the manager of that team.
And then like Big Al, you hit a dinger.
I hit a dinger. Yeah.
You hit an actual dinger.
One dinger.
Who else from that team has made it to the majors? Anybody else?
Nobody. I'm still close with, a few of them, but I think one's still playing. But other than that, it's just me.
What's your first baseball memory?
First baseball memory.
Yeah, man.
Man, I wish I had an answer for you. I don't know.
What did you remember going in? I mean, you'd have been ages 4 to 6 in the Yankee clubhouse. Age 7 when you were in the Angels clubhouse. Your dad was in the majors for 4 years. Do you remember being in the Yankee clubhouse at all?
I remember the clubhouse. For me, during the games, I was in the playroom. Me and the kids we weren't watching the games. We were in the playroom.
Do you remember who you were in the playroom with?
Andy Pettitte's son Josh. We were really good friends. We still talk here and there, but him, and we had a tight-knit group when my dad played for the Yankees. So we had a lot of kids growing up together, playing in the playroom, not watching the games, and hanging out in the clubhouse. So we kind of had the life.
No kidding. Do you remember going to the World Series at all?
I do. I remember.
Which one?
The 01 when they lost. I remember that one.
In Arizona?
Maybe because I've seen video of it, but for whatever reason, I remember sitting in the stands in Arizona and watching the D-backs beat the Yankees.
So Game 7 you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the stands that day too.
Yeah.
Much older, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I was
much older. I remember
6 years old.
I remember being there when Rivera came out and struck out the side in the 8th, and I was in a section surrounded by a bunch of Diamondback wives who were crying because they thought this thing was over.
Yep.
And then
I think we all thought it was over.
And then the 9th inning happened.
Unheard of from Mariano Rivera.
Pretty much. So you were in this. You do remember being there, huh?
I do.
Do you Did you pick anything up at all? Do you think?
I don't think so.
Not at all.
I think the thing I learned, maybe not even learned, just being in the clubhouse and being around baseball. My whole life has helped me. I don't know if I learned a specific thing, but I think, like I said, just being around the guys at such a young age was just a huge benefit for me.
Now, we tried to reach your dad last year, and he's kind of private because we called his firehouse to talk to him after he threw BP to you for the home run derby. What was that like for you guys to go through that for the home run derby last year?
I think that was the coolest experience of the year last year. Obviously, the World Series was unbelievable in itself, but having him throw to me in the home run derby was special. Really nerve-wracking. I don't know if he was nervous. I was definitely nervous walking up to the plate. But I thought it was going to be cool, but it blew it out of the water. How cool it was.
I was about to say, I mean, that's got to be as great as it comes. There's your dad. There you are. You've made it to the All-Star game. You're having a great rookie season. He's pitching to you. You're in a home run derby. The whole country's watching. That's amazing.
Amazing. Looking back at it, it was crazy. I think during the year, everything just kind of happens so quick that you're just kind of enjoying it. Didn't really have time to reflect on it till after the season. But
sure.
I think the Derby was cool, especially the new format they got with the time.
That is, I think they've nailed it.
They nailed it.
I went with my kids this year, and the excitement of the final round with Schwarber, who I think I called him he's like a fire hydrant with a Cubs hat on his head.
Yeah, he is.
And just cranking them out one after another. It was a billion degrees, and then Bryce Harper comes back with the extra time, knocks one out of the park.
With him. 15 or 30 seconds ago, he hit like 8 or 9 out. So
how tough is that?
It's hard. It's nerve-wracking, and usually when you hit BP, you got a turtle above you, and when you're hitting with no turtle, it does make a difference. It's kind of awkward.
What do you mean by it when you're to explain to those?
Turtle is the batting cage above your head that you're hitting in. So if you foul a ball off, it goes into the cage instead of the stands.
Right.
When you're not hitting with a cage, you feel open and a little awkward at first, but I don't know. I think the 2-minute mark, you get one time out, you're pretty tired. So it's hard, but like I said, you got a lot of adrenaline going.
And of course. Now, did Cody Bellinger here on the Rich Eisen show? Did you tell your dad, hey, you got to throw it here? I mean, did you give him a look at sometimes if he didn't nail the spot? Did you?
I think he started to figure out a few seconds in where I was swinging, where I was hitting him, and he just tried to hit that spot every single time. It was up and in.
Do you think it affected the way you played the season, the second half?
No, I think that's a huge myth or rumor. It didn't affect me. It hasn't affected Harper this year.
Not at all.
It hasn't affected Muncy really this year. I don't think it has an effect at all. You know, you take BP every day, so that's just a glorified BP.
So would you do it again?
I would do it again. I think I would enjoy it a lot more if it was at home in front of the home crowd.
Well, 2020.
That's right.
It's right here.
It's coming up.
And did you give tips to Muncy? Because that guy was cranking it out too.
He was. I thought he had a chance to win after the first round. I thought so too.
The first round he was great, but it's just, again, it's so tough.
It's tiring.
Yeah, I got to call time.
He does it every day in BP, so I thought for sure he had a chance. And Turner Ward hitting Coach with throwing strikes, and that's all you can ask for as a hitter.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.